Hi, my name is Catherine Ruffalo. Today's date is September 11, 2020. Today I'll be talking about the role of the pancreas and liver in regulating digestion. The pancreas and the liver are gastrointestinal organs and endocrine glands. This means that they secrete very important hormones directly into the blood rather than through a duct. The liver and the pancreas work very closely in tandem with the intestine. Their secretions are very important for proper nutrient digestion. A fun fact about them is that together they can secrete more than 3 liters of secretion per day. Something that I thought was also very important to discuss is the location of these 3 organs. As you can see from the picture on the slide, they are very close in proximity. This really stresses the importance of how they need to work together in order to function properly. The contents of the secretion include digestive enzymes, bile, bicarbonate, mucus, and an isotonic NaCl solution. The 3 that we discuss in lecture as the most important are digestive enzymes. These are produced by the intestinal epithelium, and exocrine pancreas. The release of these vary, but includes neural, hormonal, and paracrine signals. Bile is made in the liver and released from the gallbladder to facilitate the digestion of fats. Bicarbonate neutralizes the acidity of chyme that enters the small intestine from the stomach. Mostly this comes from the pancreas and is released in response to neural stimuli and secretin. To go more in depth on the liver is the largest of the internal organs. It weighs about 3.3 pounds in an average adult. Again, from this picture that is on the slide, you can see how close in proximity the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas are to each other. This is really important because it illustrates how intimate of a relationship they have to each other and how much they communicate with each other to function properly. Some of the functions that go on in the liver are protein synthesis, cholesterol synthesis, and hormone secretion. Another thing that happens is the dysfunctional and aged red blood cell destruction occurs here. It also processes the nutrients that are absorbed from the small intestine and secretes bile from hepatocytes. The hepatocytes are very imperative for the digestion of fats in the body, and the secretion of bile comes from liver cells called hepatocytes. We'll go a little bit more in depth on the hepatocytes in this next slide. The process of hepatocytes are the common hepatic duct will take the bile that is made from the liver and transport it to the gallbladder where it's held for storage. From there, the common bile duct will pick up the bile and transport it to the lumen of the small intestine. It's here that bile salts, these make fats soluble during the digestion process, begin to take effect. These salts can almost be thought of like a detergent, and it's made directly from the bile acids. Hepatocytes deal with the digestion of fats and contains important enzymes such as cytochrome P450. This enzyme metabolizes drugs and other xenobiotics in order to clear them from the bloodstream before they reach systematic circulation systems, thus traveling throughout the rest of the body. This is really interesting because this process is often why oral antibiotics must be given in higher doses in order to pass through this filtration process. The pancreas is imperative for management of the use of sugar for energy after it's digested. The pancreas also contains both types of secretory epithelium, known as endocrine and exocrine. It's important to note the difference between these. But first, we'll go a little bit more into the digestion process of the pancreas. The pancreas deals with fat digestion. It's carried out by enzymes called lipase. However, the bile salts that we just discussed earlier have a tough coating on the fats, which lipase can't break down. At this point in the process, the fat digestion will require colipase, which is a protein cofactor that's secreted by the pancreas. What this colipase does is displaces some of the bile salts that form the coating on the fat. Then, the fat inside of the bile salts will be able to be digested by the lipase. Phospholipids are digested by a substance also made in the pancreas called pancreatic phospholipase. Something that is important to note here is what the body will do with free cholesterol. Notice how cholesterol will not be broken down and digested, and is actually absorbed fully intact. This is very important when considering health concerns dealing with cholesterol intake. The endocrine and exocrine secretions of the pancreas are important to note the difference of. Endocrine secretions come from a cluster of cells called islets. The endocrine secretions from the islets contain important hormones including insulin and glucagon. These are both very necessary hormones, as insulin, when released in the bloodstream, will decrease blood glucose, and glucagon, when released into the bloodstream, will increase blood glucose. These are both very important when discussing maintaining blood glucose levels. Exocrine secretions come from lobules called ansae. These are special because the ducts that come from the ansae empty directly into the duodenum, which is extremely important for proper functioning of digestion. Exocrine secretions deal mostly with the digestive enzymes we talked about in lecture, along with a watery solution of sodium bicarbonate ions. These together will be emptied into the duodenum. It's also important to note the role of the essential process of releasing pancreatic juice. This occurs here. The duodenum releases secretin, CCK, and hydrogen ions to release pancreatic juices. Again, looking at this picture on the slide, it's cool to see just how close all of these processes are to each other, and how digestion as a whole relies on the relationships these processes have to each other. This concludes my discussion of the digestion of the liver and the pancreas, and we'll move on to my digestive system worksheet. I studied this worksheet in order to learn these processes much more in depth. These are some true or false questions that I came up with. Answer true or false for the following questions. Number 1. The liver and the pancreas produce more than 3 liters of secretion per day. This is true. Number 2. The pancreas only contains endocrine secretory epithelium. This is false. As we just discussed, the pancreas contains both endocrine and exocrine secretory epithelium. Number 3. The liver secretes bile. This is true. Number 4. The pancreas aids in the digestion of fats. This is true. Number 5. The nutrients absorbed by the small intestine are then processed by the pancreas. This is false. As we know, this is the role of the liver. Number 6. Sodium bicarbonate is secreted and directly sent to the duodenum. This is true. Number 7. Cholesterol and protein synthesis occur in the liver. This is true. This wraps up my discussion of the regulation of digestion through the liver and the pancreas. I hope that this video helped all of you learn this process more in depth as it has helped me. Thank you.